Welcome to the Garbage Opinions Podcast. I am your host, Delvin Cox. And with me on this episode is the crew, as always, Mr. Tim Hines. Say what's up, brother.
Hello, everybody out there.
Also on the podcast, as always, the funniest man in comedy, Mr. Adam Nutters. How you doing, brother?
Oh, got to flex on these hoes. You know what I'm saying?
I thought you were introducing me and then gonna be like, and also Adam.
That would have been really funny.
Also, the blackest man in podcasting, Mike from the What Up Though podcast.
Now that would have been funny if you said me.
Like even I call my own blackness into question. But all right, man, I appreciate that. No, what up though, y'all?
Now we have an interesting topic for everybody. All of us here love sports. All of us have a passion for sports, whether it's strong or light. Some of us gamble and lose a lot of money on sports. We're not going to call your names, but
we win money. I won $500 yesterday, so whatever.
But that's actually pretty good.
I know.
Our topic for this episode is MVPs, our personal MVPs. Who do we think are the GOATs of the league, the best of all time? And we're doing three sports in particular. We're doing basketball, we're doing football, and we're doing combat sports. When we say combat sports, we talk about any physical competition.
Right, like boxing, MMA, Muay Thai, yes. Jiu-Jitsu, whatever you think a combat sport is, that's
all encompassing.
Right.
All right. So let's kick it off with basketball first. Let's start off with somebody who always pisses us off. Tim, who is your choice for the GOAT of basketball?
I hope he says Muggsy Bogues or something.
it's Sam Bowie.
Mike Bibby.
Tim Hardaway was always one of my favorite with that ill crossover. But it's undeniably, I think we can put Mike Lacombe, Mike.
Oh,
Jordan
I thought you were
up on the pedestal.
I'm like, thank you.
So next to him, I got Magic. Magic was like my favorite player watching growing up, and to me he was the GOAT, and it was that intensity and that friendship with Bird. I love that. But Jordan has that spot. It's very hard to debate, but I feel like when we were talking hockey, like we had to put Gretzky aside and move along. Like I feel like that's what we have to do with Jordan.
I disagree, actually.
Well,
that's why we're here.
You have like LeBron and shit.
You're right.
Yeah, I know.
For me, right, no, you're right. But I don't think LeBron and Jordan is debatable. I've said that in the past. I don't even want to get into that discussion because
stop right there.
That's what we're gonna do right now.
Yeah, but those two shouldn't. It's almost like Jordan's in his own realm of everything.
Okay, so
so then your pick is Jordan.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm sticking with Jordan then.
Okay.
Don't.
Because I thought we were doing that
because it's a popular pick.
I thought we were doing that Gretzky. Thought we were doing that Gretzky move.
No,
it's different. Hockey's different than basketball.
Yeah, I think it's different.
It's so different because there are other players that were great basketball, and there are other great hockey players. But Gretzky is. In other words, people could arguably be like LeBron's better than Jordan, but no one could arguably say anybody's better than Gretzky. Like you can't, you physically cannot.
Yeah.
Like you literally cannot.
That's true.
He has more assist points than people have. Like you know what I'm saying? Fuck it. Like
goal points.
I don't want to hear it. So yeah, that's what hockey off of this list. But basketball, I did. Now, Tim, to add your point, I actually agree with you. I think I'm going to say Jordan too. I'm also going to say Jordan.
Well, let's lead into you, Adam. Go ahead with your Jordan.
Yeah, I'm going to say Jordan because let's be honest. First of all, he's not a fucking punk bitch like LeBron. He's like, I'm going to go to different teams to fucking win championships. That's some fucking pussy shit that I hate in basketball.
Who wants to come with me and help me?
Yeah, it's a word I want to use. I can't say anymore because it's 2020, but you all know what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's fucking punk bitch shit. It's like, no. Play your fucking with your team. Recruit, maybe you could be like, hey, anybody want to, but don't. It's like it was this backdoor like meeting shit. They're all like calling each other, like, you guys want to go to the Heat together? Yeah, like it's
Well,
I
And
love
it's
lame.
still
I
evolving though.
benefited from it. So I
I'm
love
about to say, I bet Delvin probably didn't got away
fucking
about that.
amazing.
fair. But like it's just like Jordan was like and Pippen was great. Like he was a great player, but like let's be honest with you. He had a great team around him. But the team did switch for all of his 6 fucking championships, but he still stayed there.
Yeah.
Like he had like Sexton and all those guys, right? But then like Paxton, like Paxton and all those guys, but they move on, and then he went to like Pippen, and so like his team
Robin.
evolved, but he stayed great no matter what. So yeah, he had great supporting,
Right.
not even great. He had good supporting play. Because like let's be honest with you,
It couldn't have been done without him.
yeah, like would Pippen be number 1 on another team? Sure, but he couldn't carry a team like Jordan could carry a team at number 1. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? Like that's just the facts. And like so when LeBron went to the Heat, yeah, he's a great player, LeBron. I'll give him that. But he needed fucking all these other really good
Dwayne
better
Wade,
than
who's
right.
literally probably the second best player in the league at the time.
Which is my point was Dwayne Wade if you were comparing times, Dwayne Wade's better than Scottie Pippen.
Yes.
Right? And I think
I
like
would think so.
what's his who's the fucking
Chris
third
Bosh.
piece? Chris probably a better shooter than definitely Robin was a better rebounder, but he was a better scorer,
Yes.
right? So like Tony Kukoc, he was a great 3-point shooter, but it's not like he was dropping fucking 30 a game.
That Heat team was stacked.
That's what I'm saying.
Crazy.
It had people on the bench that were practically starters.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a really stacked Heat team.
But for Jordan to just do that, I don't know, dude. I mean, and then to dominate, like just single-handedly take over games, like I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
I gotta give mine because it's gonna be the same thing as you guys, Michael Jordan, and mine is for a completely different reason. See, I have 3 choices I was gonna pick from, and they all for very similar reasons. But I picked Jordan for something that's superficial, but I think it matters the most.
He was fine as hell.
No,
That was a good Delvin impression.
yeah, it was actually. It's simple. My 3 picks were Shaq, Kobe, and Jordan, and it was those 3 picks for one specific reason. They were great, but they were also huge assholes.
Dude, I love the because I'm a psycho competitor, so I appreciate Jordan's like in The Last Dance, which was great.
Yes,
And
fantastic.
he was like, "Nah, I made that shit up about what's his face."
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, that's psychotic. I love it. Like, I love it.
I don't think you can reach that elite level.
Yes, thank
to
you.
that GOAT level unless you're that much of an asshole.
I agree with you, Delvin, 100%.
And I think that's the problem I have. That's why I think when people mention LeBron in terms of Jordan, they always say, oh, Jordan's better because optics-wise, Jordan's stories are amazing about him being an asshole and being so competitive of wanting to win and willing himself to win as opposed to LeBron's stories and Jordan's stories are completely different. LeBron's stories are like, he's an amazing athlete. He always makes the right basketball play. Jordan's stories is like more like this motherfucker wanted to win so bad he was willing to push people out the way, cheat just to win.
Play during the flu with fever and fucking.
That's what I'm saying. That wasn't the flu, by the way. That
Whatever
was
it
food
was.
poisoning.
Food,
Yeah.
play while he was sick.
Yeah,
But I appreciate that. I need that. I need that from a top level athlete. I need that type of like when he's like to this day he's like fuck Isaiah Thomas and Isaiah Thomas is like I didn't know he hated me.
Yeah,
like that's awesome.
that's wild. That's petty. And players like that normally don't have great regular personal lives, but their basketball stories are so amazing. It's like, oh yeah, you're elite. You're elite in this,
Right?
Yeah.
You know it. For anyone who doesn't know, the conspiracy behind Jordan's dad is he got whacked because he like Jordan owed like gambling debts.
Yeah, that's one of the conspiracy theories
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, it's wild that you don't really have those type of stories about LeBron. like the worst
Oh,
story
we
ever.
do have the one.
I was
It
gonna
started.
say, I was gonna say it. The worst story you have about LeBron is Delonte West slept with his mom, and then and the funny thing about that, which is also fucked up, as soon as that story happened, Delonte West got kicked off the team and became homeless to the motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And everybody, as soon as everybody saw LeBron play, they forgot about his mother getting a Hummer, actual,
Yeah.
not the vehicle from his donors or alumnus or whatever. They forgot that shit real quick.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. LeBron's as great as he is, I don't feel like he has that killer instinct that Michael Jordan has. I feel like LeBron, when he leaves basketball, he gonna be all right. He'll leave it and be like, I don't need to worry about that shit no more. I got these TV shows, I got these businesses I'm trying to still be successful in many other things. I got this activism I'm trying to do. When Jordan left basketball, he was still talking about he was the best player in the fucking world.
Yeah.
Like, he did not ever let that leave his mind. Like,
So, well, here's the thing.
Wow, I want to know before who's Mike's pick.
yeah, now we got to get
All right,
to that one now.
go
too.
ahead.
Well, before I get into my pick, is this the thing where you thought I was gonna be different than everybody else?
Yes,
So who do you think I'm gonna say?
Isaiah Thomas.
Oh no, I'm a total homer and a stan, but I know better than to say that Isaiah Thomas is the best
Right, 'cause you're
basketball
a
player
defense-
ever.
That's right.
But this
He's
is
my
your pick.
favorite. He's
This
my
is your
favorite.
pick. That's to be clear. This is your pick.
Yes, my Isaiah Thomas is my favorite basketball player, bar none, not even close. But the GOAT is Jordan.
Okay.
And I don't even have another. I'd put Kobe as a close second.
Yeah.
After that, I don't even have LeBron a close third. I'd have LeBron third, but a distant third. And I'm going to tell you why. And it kind of is different than what a lot of you guys said, but Adam kind of touched on this point just a little bit. It's the fact my litmus test for how I judge the greatness of a player is how I feel watching them play. And I've never felt more helpless as a fan than watching my team play Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, there was nothing you could do. You could be watching the game and it could be going great, or not even your team. It could be any game. And, the Bulls are down by 15, 20 points, and you're thinking oh, this is over. And then you can see the tide shift in him to where they could still be down 15, and you're like, this is over. He's about to take over and about to come back, and it's a wrap. And you're watching this happen live, watching a guy just go, yeah, I know you think you're gonna win this game, but you're not anymore. And just doing it. And I've watched him do that so many times, and I've never seen anything like it. It's like he just decides, okay, I'm gonna post you up. I'm gonna hit this ridiculous fucking fadeaway that looks like there's no chance I should be able to make it. I'm gonna make that. He just takes over in a way that transcends LeBron's way of taking over, where it's like, I'm gonna use my big athleticism and brute force, and I'm just gonna power my way into the paint, or I'm gonna, whatever it is that LeBron might do. But with Jordan, it was as much as I hated him, it was beautiful to watch this guy play. I've never seen anything like that in sports, period. I'd say the closest I've come to feeling like a guy can just kind of turn it on and take over was watching the Joe Montana 49ers. I felt like Joe Montana was that guy where it's just kind of I never felt safe having a lead on the 49ers, because I'm like, Joe Montana might just decide that they're going to come back now, and that's going to be it. But yeah, that was my litmus test for Jordan, and it has not changed in all the time since he's left. I've never seen anyone who can make me feel like expecting your team to win, even while up big, is completely futile. There's no way it's gonna. He decided it's over, and it is. And I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
And I hate him, but you will never hear me disrespect his game ever.
Oh yeah,
I've never seen anything like it.
The other thing too we were talking about is when he played the Pistons, the Pistons beat up on him, and he's younger. His way of fixing that was oh, I'm gonna go in the gym and get yoked.
Yeah.
And he went, and LeBron was I'm gonna go switch teams because I can't win. And that's what I'm saying. It's fucking.
Yeah.
That's the perfect example. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's Jordan's I'm gonna get bigger and stronger, and I'm gonna come back and shove my dick down your fucking throat. LeBron's I'm gonna take my ball and go somewhere I could beat everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm cool, real tough.
Yeah. And I feel better about, and that's maybe if I wasn't a Pistons fan, it would be more difficult for me to take Jordan's side like that. But I have the benefit of my team slapping his bitch ass around a little bit and deciding they're like, oh yeah, I do need to get stronger. I'm gonna go lift some weights so that Bill Laimbeer doesn't beat the shit out of me anymore.
Dude, I will say though,
works for
watching
me.
like the old like fucking Detroit. Oh, the what was it? The 30 for 30.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the Bad Boys.
Bad
one,
Boy,
yeah.
dude, that was fucking great. Anybody
was-
should go
God,
watch that. Even if you're not
so
a basketball
good.
fan, like people should go watch that. Like, dude, Bill Lamb. That's why. But I love Bill Laimbeer too. He's like, I don't give a fuck. Like just crush like clotheslining people over the middle. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah. He's like, I don't give a. He's like, yeah, that's how we played. And guess why? He's like, they didn't want to play us again. I was like, yes, that's what I fucking like. And that's basketball's fucking lame now.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right,
so lame now.
we gotta change this because we're agreeing too
Yeah.
fucking much. Like, this can't happen.
I'd imagine agreement is probably over at this point.
Yeah, I think so. All right, let's go to the second one. Let's go to football. Tim,
Wait, we're doing combat sports
oh,
second.
you want to
Let's do combat sports. I feel like football is like the bigger sport. We should do that last.
All right, fuck it. Let's do combat sports. I think that's a
Yeah.
good idea. Tim,
Why am I always starting? Jesus.
because you're the one who's going to cause the controversy.
Holy shit. Combat sports. All right. Well, I'm not a huge MMA guy.
Tim is combat sports.
But you are a boxing
Right.
guy.
So I'm saying
Right.
where I'm bringing it in, I don't know enough personalities, styles to be able to compare. So I'm gonna go with just boxing based on what I know. I love Tyson. He's not the GOAT. There's so many different weight classes, but Floyd has to be the GOAT. He's unbeaten. It's just to me that's hands down.
Like I can't wait to destroy this theory, but go on.
Yeah,
But he's not beaten. Like that's
So what?
That means
well,
So what?
but we
nothing.
put Jordan in that spot. He has all these rings. He does, transcends it. Like I love watching a good fight. Like growing up, like watching Cesar Chavez Jr. like was one of my favorite boxers. He was so much fun to watch. There's so many good fighters.
He's better than Floyd Mayweather.
Yes.
I don't want to step over. I know Adam's probably next. I don't want to step over it, but I do want to say, Tim, like to your point about Floyd being unbeaten. When I mentioned that my litmus test is what it feels like to watch that person do their thing, even though Floyd is unbeaten. Did you ever sit and watch a Floyd Mayweather fight and be like, I've never seen anything this amazing before?
No,
Thank you,
but
Mike.
he
Thank you.
does right.
The
But
boringest shit I've ever seen in my life.
But to me, it's like watching a picture, though. Like if you like
You're
baseball,
right, a still
Boring.
picture.
right? If you because he's just working it and working the rules to his advantage. Till
I'll
he
give
fucking
I'll give
wins.
this about Floyd, Tim. I'll give this about Floyd. He could download your pattern within like a round or two, figure it out, and pick it apart, which is very impressive. And he's probably one of the very few guys who could do that.
That's
right?
why I think he's so good. Like,
But that being said, he fought all these other guys way after their prime on purpose. He waited to fight them. That's coward shit. I don't think you're the GOAT for doing that. I don't. I think he fought Pacquiao 8 years fucking too late.
Yes.
Not 8, but at least 5. 5 years at least too late.
No, I was thinking the same thing. Like I was like 5 to 10 years too late on.
Yeah,
the Pacquiao
way too
fight.
fucking late. And then when he beat Ortiz was like, I'm sorry, man, because he was apologizing, and he's like, cool. And like he fucking unloads and knocks him out. Like, oh wow, good win, dude. Like, it's like shit like that. I'm like, yeah, he's not the best. By the way, Conor took 4 rounds from Floyd. Conor's not a fucking boxer.
Yeah. I think, in my opinion, I think Floyd Mayweather may be one of the greatest defensive boxers of all time.
Uh-huh.
see, I like that. Like
But-
I enjoy that kind of fighting. Like to me, I'd rather watch a lengthy duel than, even though it was amazing watching Tyson come out in 53 seconds and clock somebody till death. It was like, all right, what's next? All right, go home. It's the final
No.
card. All right.
But
It's like-
so he won too quick for you?
No. But what I'm saying is, I enjoy for the art form of it. You know what I mean?
I get you. I feel you on that. Like
That's why I like Tyson Fury. Like he's always fucking dodging shit. Like I love that. Like I like
Tyson Fury is
defense.
also knocking out people.
Yeah.
Like,
Frequently.
No, but I get what Tim's saying though. Like like knockouts, early knockouts are incredibly exciting and fun, but like there is something to be said of about a fight that goes the distance or close to the distance that's entertaining the entire fucking time. And then I will also say that is also a knock against Floyd.
Yeah,
Right, but Mike,
based on that
But Mike,
criteria.
But Mike, are you gonna tell me all of Floyd's 55 fights were fucking so exciting to the end?
Nah.
No, we're 5.
No, I'm saying that's the knock
He's
against
agreeing.
Floyd.
Right,
He's
yeah.
agreeing.
I'm
But
agreeing.
it's
I'm like, that's
also
the knock against Floyd
50
is that his fights are not entertaining.
A lot of people
Oh,
don't
okay,
have
I
50
get it.
fights.
You what?
A lot of people don't have 50 fights.
A lot of people have
That's
50 fights.
I
They're just like 42 and 10 or whatever.
I guess.
My pick.
Yeah, let's go to your pick.
All right, I'm obviously going MMA. So I'm gonna go. John Jones is the GOAT of combat sports, and I'm gonna put the fucking steroid shit at rest right now, Mike.
No!
Get that shit. And
I'm gonna tell you like
this right now.
I'm
What?
gonna tell you my opinion about the steroid shit. I don't care. Like,
Hold on, I
I'm
do
not
care
100.
because it's combat sports and that's a sport that matters steroids. But here's the thing: John Jones is so good naturally. We all know he's never come close until Gustafson and to losing a fight. Like he came out against Shogun and beat the shit out of him in like 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like John Jones was such a phenom, such a fucking freak. First of all, one of those times he took steroids was proven now they were wrong. So USADA fucked up. So really, he only got busted once, and he still swears it was fucking dick pills. And by the way, he didn't need steroids to kick Daniel Cormier's fucking head off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
Cormier leaned into a fucking head kick. It doesn't matter. I can knock him out. I mean, yeah, I used to fight, but still, like, I can still knock out DC with a head kick unblocked. It doesn't matter. We all can.
Okay, I was gonna say no, you can't. But okay, unblocked, yeah, sure.
Unblocked,
No,
yes.
no, that's what happened. That's
Yeah,
how he
no,
knocked
it
him
is.
out.
But your statement was like, I could knock out Daniel Cormier. I'm like,
I'm sorry. I meant the way he
We
did.
should just clip that and send that to Daniel Cormier.
No, I love DC. Please don't.
That's gonna be the header of the podcast.
I meant like in the way Jones knocked him out with a head kick. He just literally leaned into it, and Jones was like, "Yeah," and took his fucking head off. Like I could have done that. We all could have done that. Steroids were irrelevant. Again, he only got busted once. When he almost lost to Gustafson, admittingly, he did cocaine all week and barely trained, and he still won the fight.
Yeah.
Jones is so dominant. His only loss was to Matt Hamill because it was fucking non-contested because he
was beating the shit out of him.
beating the shit out of Matt Hamill. He was raining elbows down, and they were like, "You can't do that. You lose, disqualified." And Matt Hamill was like, "I won." Like, okay. like John Jones is. And by the way, he's an asshole. He's a piece of shit. He's a fucking piece of shit. This isn't a moral argument. This is just a competitive in the ring argument. No one could beat him in light heavyweight. When he moves up to heavyweight, no one will beat him. He will walk through Stipe, and Stipe is my favorite fighter of all time. He will walk through Stipe. He would walk through Brock. He walks through DC. He walks through anybody heavyweight. He walks through anybody light heavyweight. And yeah, he had problems. He had problems with Reyes, right? He had problems with Santos. He had problems with Gustafson, DC. But like, he still won. He still won. I don't see how anyone's better than him. I just don't.
He's a current fighter.
He's also one more thing. We all forget this. He's also a black belt in BJJ, and he's won multiple grappling tournaments outside of the UFC.
Yes.
We just never really see that inside of the UFC. But he's also a great on the ground too.
I like your pick, by the way. I knew that was going to be your pick, by the way.
Did you?
Tim is a black belt in the regular BJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let me clarify the steroid thing. I never care about the steroids thing because I like my combat sports to be ferocious and
Then watch
scary.
Ryzen. They do that.
Yeah, I like my combat sports to be as close to the movie Bloodsport as possible.
With the glass.
If they can rent out a
No,
private
that's
island,
kickboxer.
Oh yeah, right.
if they can rent out a private island and just do Mortal Kombat, I am 100% fine.
Yeah,
with that.
we need Kumites. We need more.
Kumite. Yeah.
Kumite.
I am fine with all that. Who's your pick, Mike?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going next. I like to subvert expectations, and this is going to be fun. My pick this whole time was going to be John Jones. I
Oh,
don't know
you
why.
fuck.
I don't know why
I
I thought we
figured
were going
that
to be
too.
different.
Because I
that
thought
one
you
too.
were gonna say something. I think you might want Khabib or something.
No. My pick
Okay.
is John Jones. I am a diehard John Jones fan. I've watched every single one of his fights on Fight Pass, and they are a treat to fucking watch. And when I
Yeah.
say a treat, I don't mean like, oh, it's cool to watch this guy beat the shit out of somebody. He is so goddamn good.
So good.
I mean, like when it comes to like striking, when it comes to, he doesn't even look like somebody. He doesn't grapple a lot, but he has great takedown defense. He can wrestle with guys. His strategy is insane. And then like Adam said, like, yeah, he might have popped for steroids and shit, but like, I don't look at that like, I don't look at that as a big knock in combat sports. Honestly, I just don't. And I'm like, at the end of the day, if I'm watching a John Jones fight and I'm seeing a strategy, like he had a fight where he reached down for his opponent, one of his opponent's legs, as if he was going to try to take that person down. And when that person reacted to that feint, he spun around and hit him with a spinning elbow. Like that kind of strategy. Like, I'm going to send you one way and I'm going to hit you with it. Like, steroids don't make you smarter.
Exactly.
like, so it's like, okay, yeah, maybe that elbow hit a little bit harder than it would have otherwise, but like his strategy and the way he fights, it's just it's something special to watch, man. And I've at the point of starting to get into fighting and to get back into fighting and watching John Jones, I was like, man, this guy's fucking impressive. And then now, fast forward to current day, where I feel infinitely more knowledgeable. I know way more fighters. I've seen way more fights. I still haven't seen anybody fucking with John Jones. So like it was always going to be John Jones for me, man. Like and Adam said he's a piece of shit. He really is. But
He really
I
is.
mean, like it's just like Jordan. It's like he's an asshole, but
well,
like
Jordan's not as bad because he had a pregnant lady and shit. But
well, no,
like,
I mean, it's just like Jordan. I mean, it's just like Jordan in the sense of like, it's the same feeling. At least it was the same feeling of watching Jordan, where it's like I ain't never seen no shit like this. Like how good this guy is. Like, and I don't feel that way right now. Like I felt like the fights that Adam mentioned, the Reyes fight, the Santos fight. Like I personally, I felt like he lost the Reyes fight. I had him losing that fight watching it.
he could have. I mean, yeah, you could. I get it.
But at the end of the day, he's never been beaten. His
Right.
one loss is a disqualification because of the illegal elbows. And and what I said, it wasn't like he lost because he was beat. He lost because he was beating the shit out of this
Dude,
guy.
people
And
need
Matt
to
Hamill,
watch that fight.
and Matt Hamill, here's the funny thing. Matt Hamill is deaf. And
Yeah.
watching that fight, I was like, look at John Jones beating another sense out of this guy. like he's gonna be blind too after this is over. Like
Dude, he was literally on top of him, just like this, just like.
yeah, it's like you can't do straight down elbows.
12
like
to 6.
12 to 6. You can't do that. He was doing that. And like and he was new at the time. He was young when they pulled him off and called the fight. He looked confused, like, oh, I don't what happened, and it never happened again. So like if it wasn't for that mistake.
By the way, the commission should overturn that and just give him a no contest
They should.
because that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So like and his fight against Cormier, both of his fights against Cormier, like Daniel Cormier is one of the best heavyweights I've ever seen, man.
Ever.
And John beat the shit out of him
Twice.
like
Twice.
Yeah, well, twice, but I'm specifically speaking on the second one.
Oh, the second one.
The
That was
one
a
that
head
made
kick.
the one that made him cry. There you go. Who else in professional combat sports has beat their opponent and made them cry? Only John Jones. In discussion.
Oh well, Connor made Aldo cry, didn't he? Didn't Aldo cry from Connor's taunting and he broke down? I mean, he might not cry, but he like broke down.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think he
you may be right.
cried,
I,
But
you may
he
be right. I don't
definitely
know.
like he had like a fucking like a tantrum about all the shit talking. He's like because he can't
But-
speak English.
Yeah.
He was mad at Connor.
Daniel Cormier was ugly crying in the
Yeah.
in the octagon after the fight, like ugly crying, not just like, oh, there's a tear and it's like,
Right.
oh, I can't believe I lost. It's like,
Yeah.
And
ugly
meanwhile,
crying.
our last unanimous GOAT is his second most famous thing is known for a meme of crying. That's awesome.
That's right.
True. Delvin, what's your pick?
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
done.
I'm gonna go with the legend. Somebody who I think could beat anybody y'all just mentioned. Fucking Hulk Hogan.
What? Sick fuck.
Who is kicked out of the leg drop? No one.
That's a great
The
pick.
man has a point. I
Great
mean,
pick, brother.
the
Right.
man has a
That's a
point.
great
The man has a
pick.
point.
When he lifted up Andre the Giant, who was like 1,000 pounds,
That was impressive.
and slammed him. No one ever saw it coming. Nah.
You know something,
right.
brother? I was going to call you the N-word until you picked me.
No,
Oh,
not good.
Terry.
my pick is Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mike Tyson. I think when I think of combat sports, one of the first things that come to my mind is somebody that literally puts fear in an opponent. And no boxer / MMA guy I've ever seen do that like Mike Tyson.
A lot of guys lost those fights before they stepped in
That's
the ring.
fair,
Exactly.
dude. I can't think of even in MMA, anybody who like instilled like legit,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, like you like John Jones. I honestly think he could beat Mike Tyson. But the fact that Mike Tyson was so ferocious and kind of had this aura about him, like almost like a legendary aura that a lot of people just lost the fight before the fight even started because he was so fast, so quick. He's not necessarily a tall guy. And the thing about Mike Tyson that I find amazing about him, he still fucking has that aura today.
He does.
Mhm.
It
He's also
never went
ripped
away.
again and giant.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
never
he-
went away. Like people still talk about Mike Tyson today, and I think he's like 60 years old.
No, he's 51.
51? Yeah.
He's fighting this Saturday.
Yeah,
Right,
on my
yeah,
birthday.
like, he's fighting this Saturday, and I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
great.
I'm
Awesome.
I think there's also a UFC fight Saturday too.
Are you going to be Discording?
There is.
I
Oh,
think
yeah,
I might-
yeah, probably.
I'm probably gonna watch the Tyson shit.
Yeah.
Well,
that's gonna
jump
be
on the
great.
Discord.
Wait, what do you mean? What about Discord? You just what? I mean, I know what Discord is, but what
I'll
do
tell you
mean
off
on
this
Discord?
recording.
Yeah, we'll tell that coming off this record.
Y'all
but-
got a secret that y'all kept from me, and I gotta find out after the fact. Like, oh, we'll tell you later. Like, the fuck?
No, it's not. I'm not saying that for you. I'm saying that for my benefit.
Yes, very much so. I know what he's talking about.
right.
But Mike Tyson is one of those guys. One, when he was coached, he was clearly one of the greatest fighters ever. When he was coached and disciplined, when he was working with Gus, he was accurate. He was fierce. He was scary fast. Now you can make the argument as he got older and Gus passed away, and he kind of got undisciplined, untrained, got sloppy. But Mike Tyson in his peak looked and felt unstoppable.
Dude, Mike Tyson at 18 looks like a Greek god statue.
It was insane.
Yes, it was insane and it was scary.
It was really nuts. It was what, a 8-year run or so of like just fierceness. Like
Yeah, dominant, man. And like, here's the thing: is like, I
crazy.
can't. It's hard to argue that, right? Like, I could easily argue the Floyd thing. That's stupid. But like, I can, like the Tyson thing is. It's hard to argue that. Like, if you said Muhammad Ali, that'd be hard to argue. Even if you said like maybe Jake LaMotta or Rocky Marciano, but that would be like, oh, they didn't fight as many black guys, so I could kind of maybe
Yes.
say that. But like, but they were still undefeated, or Marciano was, right?
Yes, he was.
That's still, I mean, even for not fighting as many black dudes, like it's still impressive.
That's
to
very impressive.
still not lose a fight to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like it still doesn't matter. Like, it's still impressive. But you could say Frazier. That would have been. That's an argument, right?
That's a great
There's
argument.
a lot of great boxers, but even
mean,
for men, you could say Conor McGregor.
even
And I would have
George.
been like,
George
yeah.
Foreman is crazy. Like
Yeah.
there's a
I don't know. I wouldn't put Foreman though. I don't know about Foreman being one of the greatest.
I think Foreman,
Oh, maybe though. Maybe though.
I
I, don't
think-
know.
before
I think
he lost
you're talking
to
about the discipline
Ali,
part at least.
he was seen like that. I think the Ali
Mm.
thing hurt him a lot.
Yeah, I think he fucked him up. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're right.
But Tyson's just a unicorn, man. He's one of those guys that I don't think
You're right.
we'll ever see again in terms of like ferocity and the fact that people who are grown men who know how to fight. These are not like guys who like me and you off the street. People who know how to fight. I'll give you a perfect example. Roy Jones Jr., who was an accomplished fighter himself, a world champion. People thought of Roy Jones Jr. as a legend. Is scared to fight 51-year-old Mike Tyson. Like-
You should be. By the way, Roy Jones he can win this fight.
Yes, it's not gonna be easy, but there's a shot he can win it. Like
I think if he survives the first 3 rounds, he'll win that
Well,
fight.
that's the whole thing. It's Mike Tyson's got to get at him early. If Mike Tyson gets at him early at his style, like you've seen the clips he posted on Twitter on his social medias like 2 months ago when he was promoting this thing. I mean, just how fast those hands were hitting that bag and how crazy that bag was moving at 51 is nuts. But the stamina of the distance, that's the
They
problem.
had to put in a no knockout rule in this fight because they were scared Tyson was going to legit
And
kill Roy Jones.
But what is
And
that?
only-
I don't think any of us are foolish enough to think that he's going to abide by that rule.
How do you? What's a no knockout rule?
They've changed the rules of this fight multiple times.
Yes.
Like originally it was supposed to be I think it was only supposed to be like 4 or 5 rounds.
5
Yeah.
rounds.
It was gonna be they were gonna wear headgear. It was all kinds of shit, and they were gonna stop you from like not trying to like a knockdown. They were gonna try to limit that or eliminate that. I don't know how. I guess they scouts honor shit. I don't fucking know, but it's evolved over time to where now it's gonna be 8 2-minute rounds, no headgear. The Nevada Athletic Commission, I believe, is not going to be there, but the WBC is sending in like 3 of their great judges, I guess, to judge this fight. And I think there is still a thing where like they're supposed to like, I guess it's supposed to be like an exhibition in the sense of like they're not supposed
Yes.
to fully go hard. But my argument this whole time is like, we've all been watching Mike Tyson for nearly 40 years. Does anyone who's watched Mike Tyson for 40 years feel like he's gonna be like, oh yeah, no, we can't knock him out, so I'm just gonna take it easy? Like, no, he's not gonna fucking take it easy.
Yeah, how do you tell someone to turn that
But
off?
not for nothing. You think Roy Jones? It's like you have 2 superior athletes in a combat sport fighting each other, and you're gonna tell these guys like, chill out.
I
Fuck outta
agree.
here. It's
I would
crazy.
agree with you until I saw the Roy Jones interviews about this fight. He legit looked fucking scared. And that shit scared me. Like, why is Roy Jones, one of the greatest boxers of this generation,
Easily.
looking terrified about this fight coming up? Like, I'm not in this type of shape. And this is supposed to be an exhibition. Like, no. That tells you how the
Is he-
aura of Mike Tyson.
Is he related to John?
No.
Oh, I didn't know.
Thank you
If,
for
like,
Thank you for
fight-
derailing this conversation again, Tim.
I'm just saying.
Perfect time with the football.
Yes, very much so. Tim,
Well, when we were at football last time, we were discussing possibly 3 positions: offense, defense, and quarterback.
we're not doing all that. Let's just give your goal
Okay.
of football.
So my goat, right? I love the
Oh,
running
wait,
back.
hold on.
position.
Actually, I think we did say we were gonna do offense and defense because
Okay.
we did
Well,
say that.
we did say that, but
All right, so let's just pick. We'll just pick one overall because
Well, we can
we're
do offense and
yeah.
defense. I
We,
mean,
we can do one offense and one decent.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah.
Let's go,
all
Tim.
right. Well, I'm a running back fan. It's it's to me, it's one of the shortest year span of a career that you can have in the NFL, and it's one of the most impactful, except for the last 2 seasons or so, which is making the running back look like a scarcely important position unless you're really.
if you choose a running back and don't say Barry Sanders, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah,
Well-
I'm saying it better be very, very right. It has to be.
It's Bo Jackson, but Barry Sanders, he would have been better than Barry Sanders if he didn't get hurt. And he was my favorite player watching him. He's the GOAT. He was so nasty, but Barry Sanders, they both had 2 short careers. That's why they both fall so close in this ranking. I had them both like side by side. Now, to me, Emmitt Smith I don't like the argument of Emmitt versus Barry because Barry blows Emmitt out of the water, but I love watching Bo
I agree.
Jackson play.
Tim, I'm going to tell
Yes.
you this. Bo Jackson is my favorite running back ever. Like, legit. I love Bo
high.
Jackson. I think
You know,
he is one of the most athletic athletes we've
Agreed.
ever seen.
Deion Sanders too.
Yeah, Deion Sanders.
even what he did in college was crazy, like
Yeah.
unheard of shit.
When I was a kid, I loved Bo Jackson so much, besides watching Pro Stars, which was the shit. But
Hell yeah.
but I love Bo Jackson so much, and I had to be like what 10, 9. I was really young. I went back and watched Auburn tapes of Bo Jackson playing.
Wow.
That's how
Nice.
much I love Bo Jackson. Like
Yeah,
Bo
he was great.
Jackson was explosive. He was fast. My only knock on Bo Jackson is his career was too short in football.
Yeah, his hip.
Yeah, that's my only knock against him. I love Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson was fast, explosive. He was
Bring over the Boz.
Yeah, completely ran him over. Fucking Bo Jackson was amazing. But
So
I'll
is
put
that
it this
your
way.
pick? Is that your pick?
You know what? I'm gonna go with Bo Jackson too. Yeah. Fuck it. I'm
Oh
gonna go with Bo Jackson.
shit!
It's not like you just changed your mind though, like it was gonna be somebody
See-
else until y'all started talking about Bo Jackson.
See, I was gonna say Bo Jackson originally, but then I was like, you know what? He doesn't have a long enough track record to.
That's
I
my
mean,
argument.
I'll slide it out and take Barry. Barry.
No,
Same
Barry
argument though.
we can keep this up.
same
But
thing.
see,
It's the
this
same
is-
argument, right?
This is why I'm gonna keep Bo Jackson with the thing, because Bo Jackson was so great, and this is a trivial thing. He was so great. They put him in a fucking cartoon with literally the two greatest athletes ever. Like it's Wayne
That's
Gretzky,
right.
who is the greatest hockey player ever, and Michael Jordan, who is known as the greatest basketball player ever. They said, "You know what? We know Bo Jackson's great. Let's put him in there as well."
And
Yeah.
and just to put into reference, this is a guy that played baseball because he liked baseball more, and he didn't show up until baseball was finished. He didn't get to the facilities till October.
Yeah.
So he would miss all of spring training, all of camp,
Man.
and all the beginning of the season, and just fit right in and have no fucking problem. That's an athlete. Like that's
Yeah,
so
no, I agree.
insane to
Especially
have that.
baseball.
that
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Man.
yeah, just right doing, and it's a totally different game now. You're different. Everything, all the motions are different. But just to switch right over and fit right into the game, and then be dominant from October until the end of the season, it was just so awesome to see him. And he was
Also-
so like you
Yeah,
said,
and-
how Tyson was transcendent and Jordan's transcendent. That's how I felt about Bo.
Yeah, and I
agree.
think to your point too, like it's of all the four sports, I feel like football will be the toughest one to walk in having missed training camp and all that kind of shit and slide right into it and be good. Like I feel like all the other sports, it's like it seems kind of feasible. Like I could see that, but like
Hockey
football, I feel like
probably
that'd be the
rough.
hardest
Yeah.
one. Like,
Hockey's super physical too.
yeah, I don't know. I just feel like football was like I feel like
In my
that'd be
head,
the
I just think
hardest
all the
one.
X's and O's too to catch up.
Yeah,
on.
like the X's and O's. Like,
That's
yeah,
true.
I feel like that'd be the toughest one to walk in with no training camp and be effective.
And not only that, the fact that he did it, but they accepted it. Like, yeah, that's fine. You're our starter.
Yeah.
Just go ahead, bro. You're good. That is insane. Can you imagine? Like, I don't think there's too many players who will be able to do it. Maybe Tom Brady.
Well, again, Deion Sanders did it.
Yeah, Deion. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point. Deion
He did
Sanders.
do it. He played the same day.
Yeah,
The double
Yes.
play. He played
Yep.
baseball and football the same, which is awesome. I wish that happened again, but it won't.
I feel like it
Okay, so
will.
Mike,
I feel
who's
like it
your
will
pick?
eventually. But
Well, guys get
Yeah.
double signed. Like Russell Wilson, I think is
Yeah,
still signed with the
so did
Yankees.
Kyler
part
Murray,
team.
didn't he?
Yeah,
mhm.
All
I feel
right,
like
Mike,
I feel like that'll happen one day.
I hope so.
I don't-
I hope it does.
I don't think
Oh.
we'll never see it to that level again, though.
You won't. I don't
Oh
think you
no,
will.
not to that level. No, probably not.
In terms of like Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders were elite athletes in both sports.
You right? Yeah, no, I don't think
Dude,
I don't think
you're-
that's ever gonna happen.
A
your
few years
agent,
ago,
your
like-
agent wouldn't allow it. It's too.
At least
too
not in
valuable.
our lifetimes. I don't think
No,
that's gonna
a
happen.
few years ago, Russell Wilson was doing like a little spring training shit with like the Rangers, the Yankees, I think, for fun.
Yeah.
But, it didn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
like it was just for spring training. He's like, all right, bye. I'm going back to football because this is better. So
Yeah.
Mike, who's your pick?
So this one's tough for me, and I still actually haven't arrived at a pick. Like even right now speaking, I'm still kind of conflicted, and it's because it's hard for me to choose a GOAT of a sport where you can have guys who have completely entirely different roles and entirely different contributions. So like we're talking about like football, it's like, okay, are you talking about one guy might be the best quarterback to ever do it. One guy might be the best running back, an entirely different job, but just as good at running back as so-and-so quarterback is. Same thing for a wide receiver. Like, I think it kind of ends there. Like your best tight end, I don't think is really in the conversation, or your best lineman or your best defensive player. So like, it's tough for me to choose. Like I have a person who I think is like the best quarterback, a person who I think is the best running back, a person who I think is the best wide receiver. How do I choose one? And that's what's made it tough for me. And ultimately what I've kind of arrived at is that player's contributions to their team and like whether or not they carried their team to success. So like that, as much as it pains me, that kind of rules out me being able to choose Barry. I think Barry Sanders is far and away the best running back to ever do it. And I can't choose Barry because the Lions ain't never been shit, won't ever be shit. Like, Lions are trash.
And
And they've never been successful.
That's not Barry's fault at all.
It's not. It's not. But like, I can't
stay there though. So
and-
kind of.
And it's not. It's not Barry's fault that they weren't successful, and that is why I still have no issue saying that Barry is the best running back.
He's my favorite running back of all time.
He was
Yeah.
nasty.
So
He's up
like,
there
I
with me.
can't. I
He's
can't.
my favorite. Yeah.
Barry Sanders is for me like the same kind of thing, but he lacks the Jordan success. But it's the same kind of thing where it's like you could watch Barry Sanders and it's like, okay, well, I ain't never seen no shit like that before.
So true.
Yeah.
and that was that. But I guess for me, I'd have to, if I had to choose a best football player, and I gotta say, okay, who is the best at their position and has also found the most success with their team? I guess I kind of gotta go with Tom Brady. And I don't want to, but that's kind of I think where I gotta go. He's not even my favorite quarterback.
But
I like Peyton
logic-
Manning better
I
than
like
Tom
Peyton-
Brady.
Peyton was would have been my next thing because Peyton, no one could run an offense like Peyton and read a defense. Like
Yes.
that's that
Oh,
that brain shit that like
Peyton
makes it so impressive.
Peyton is I think Peyton is probably what I would kind of feel like is the best quarterback. Joe Montana is my favorite quarterback, but I can't front on Tom Brady's success and not just his success, but his success in the way in which it's kind of defied odds.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Tom Brady should have been done a long time ago, and he has somehow managed to reinvigorate his career multiple times. Like there was I'd say maybe like 6, 7, 8 years ago, I'm thinking like, all right, this is probably getting toward the end of Tom Brady's career.
Yeah.
And there was a year where I drafted him on my fantasy team, and it was coming off of several successful Tom Brady seasons, and he fucking stunk for probably like the first 7 or 8 weeks of that season. And then he turned it on a little bit. And what ended up happening with me in that season was I actually had Tom Brady, and I had I think I somehow ended up with both him and Peyton Manning. And I think at the time, Peyton Manning was not a top fantasy draft pick. So I somehow ended up with both. And Peyton was having a solid season. So I said, okay, I can afford to trade Tom Brady, and I can move Peyton Manning into my starting lineup, and I'll be smooth. And that's exactly what I did, and it worked out. But as soon as I traded Tom Brady, he kicked it in the second gear in the second half of the season, ended up having a great season, and then has still been performing ever since. And I stopped doing fantasy football probably like 5 years ago. So he's still performing at a high level. And like, so the Super Bowls, just the numbers, the fact that he has somehow managed to defy everything that says that this guy should be done by now, and has still managed to be not just in the league but elite. I kind of got to lean toward Tom Brady, but make no mistake, I place him third in my own personal hierarchy of quarterbacks, and Barry Sanders is my favorite
See,
running back and player, period.
Tom Brady gives me a lot of hope because we're the same age. Well, I think off by like 6 months. So when I see him do awesome shit, I'm like, yeah, I fucking still got it. I'm like, yeah. No doubt. I still
No.
got
no. Let me take that hope away from you right now. No, you don't. I will say this.
But side note, Tim, I think that jersey you got on is fly.
Thank
It
you.
Is that a jersey? Yeah, no, I can see
Yeah.
buttons.
My pops
No, that's
just
dope.
got it for me for the World Series. He sent it
Yeah,
to me.
that's
They
dope.
won.
I like
Yeah,
that.
just don't forget that World Series means nothing. It's not a
Oh,
real title, but
asterisk.
go on.
I will
Go on
say,
having thinking that, but go on.
I
You
will
put
say
a,
this.
put an asterisk on the jersey.
No, you
Yeah.
guys won 40 games in a championship. Congratulations for playing a quarter of a season. You guys are
Holy
awesome.
shit.
Good job,
Yeah.
LA.
Baseball
I was-
hater.
Good job. I'm a
Um,
fucking Yankee fan, cunt face. I'll go up and get my Yankee jersey.
Like,
right
I like
now.
this guy from New York rocking a fucking Dodgers jersey.
Exactly.
Man.
He's
It's
a
crazy.
fucking traitor. He's a fucking traitor. I have a Jeter jersey. I have a Judge jersey because I'm a fucking. I appreciate our
God.
captains.
Like it's easy. It's easy to be a Yankees fan. Like you can just walk right into that. Like, hey, I'm a Yankees fan. And
Okay,
you-
well, I was a child and I grew up in Staten Island, so
no,
okay.
no, I'm saying
And
for
they have
Tim.
the
No, I'm saying for
Staten
Tim. I'm like
I
Tim
don't
can
know, my-
easily be
my
a Yankees
dad's-
fan, and he's chose to be
My
a Dodgers
dad's
fan.
hardcore. My dad's a hardcore Yankee fan. So like when I became a Dodger fan when I was a little kid because my cousin liked him. It was like a little bit of tension, but he grew into it. So now he supports hardcore. But yeah, I grew up in a Yankee house.
All right, so I want to hear Adam's football player.
Yeah, and I can't argue with Mike's choice because it's
Well,
fucking Tom Brady.
I have the same. So,
Yeah,
it's
so-
Tom
Oh,
Brady.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's same. I don't want to admit. First of all, I'm a Giants fan. So what's up? Beat him twice. But like, the dude's been to 8 Super Bowls. Tell me another player that's been to 8 fucking Super Bowls. It's unprecedented. It's unprecedented. It's not. There are teams that have never even been to a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Nonetheless,
The
the Lions. There are teams who obviously haven't won them, but there are teams that, again, like the Lions, have never even been to one. Tom Brady's been to 8 and won fucking 5. 5.
That's
Are
impressive.
you shitting me? I mean, and the comeback and against the Falcons, that's an all-time comeback Super Bowl. Impressive.
Bonkers.
The guy has he's breaking the all-time passing. Him and Drew Brees are going head to head, right? I mean, like, by the way, Drew Brees could be considered also, but whatever. It's not worth it. I mean, he's 41. Remember, don't forget, a lot of people were shit talking him like, well, it was actually Belichick. It's actually Belichick. Well, how are the Patriots doing? How are the Patriots doing right now? Not great.
Not great at
Not
all.
great. About 5 wins.
Yeah.
How the Bucks doing? A lot goddamn better.
Yeah.
Because Brady's still putting up fucking numbers. Like, it's impressive. It's his brain and his fucking body. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, he's like that mental machine, like you've been talking about, like all these other athletes that I think we've been talking about. They put themselves in a different mindset. They see the game at a different level. You know, they fully commit. There's so many athletes, you know, that I'm sure we've all loved on our favorite teams that are like we're so jazzed for, and just by 1 or 2 seasons did some dumb shit, got arrested, killed somebody, or fucking, you know, did something stupid, they got traded, like just letdowns. You know, these other people, like, they don't let you down ever. Like they, you know, unless something happened and they happen to, you know, a move that was out of their control, but like they don't cause things to happen that would let you down. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, let me
I just like to point out that Adam and I had the same pick on all 3 sports.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That's right. Great minds think alike. Let me flip it around real quick and do my defensive player.
Yes.
Oh,
Go ahead.
yeah.
LT, Lawrence Taylor.
I was thinking LT.
Not even
I
close.
legit was.
It's not. I mean, for me personally, he was, first of all, he shattered Joe Theismann's leg, and that's awesome. No, I'm kidding. But but like, he was the first out of all the years of football's existence. He was the first player where an offense had to be like, we have to work around this dude.
Yes.
Like, there was never a player defensively before where they were like, this guy's ruining our whole scheme. Like, there were defenses that obviously, like the Purple People Eaters of the 70s.
The schemes. It was the whole scheme.
Right. The Bears of the 80s, right? They were great defense. The Steelers of the 70s is still current. Great defenses.
Oh, he was there. He was
But
everywhere.
hey, man, no one was going, we have to completely shut down Jack Ham of the Steelers. Like, he was a great linebacker, sure, but he was part of a great defense.
Yeah.
Lawrence Taylor was like, I got it. And like, by the way, they had Carl Banks, a great linebacker. They had a good defense, but like, he was fucking leaps and heads and shoulders above again, literally, offense had to be like, stop 56.
Yeah.
Stop. What do we have to do? Do we have to shift our whole line that way? Do we have to shift our line? Shift the fucking line. Do we have to put 2 fullbacks in to keep a tight end in? What do we got to do? This guy is destroying us. And that's what he did. He was pure chaos. And don't forget, before Jason Taylor, because Jason Taylor was kind of like Lawrence Taylor 2.0, oddly enough.
He's
Yes.
very good.
Lawrence Taylor, the LT, he had how many goddamn defensive return touchdowns? Like 9? That's a lot.
Yeah.
At the time, because people got to remember, like, this is like the 90s and 80s when like that wasn't as common. All these like pick sixes and shit. Like, that's like today's shit.
Yeah, no,
Back
different.
then, he was such a goddamn chaos. He's like scooping up balls, running 50 yards, just running people over. Like, dude, he's an animal. And I'm not saying that I'm a Giants fan, but I think easily.
That's valid.
Yeah.
And I remember being almost kind of like taken aback. Like, how y'all gonna call LaDainian Tomlinson LT? Like, come on, don't
no.
disrespect LT like that.
Yeah.
But,
And
but
by the
no,
way,
I
real
thought
quick-
you were gonna say Dion. I thought you were gonna say Dion.
Oh, no, I
Sanders.
love Dion. No, real quick. My favorite football player of all time is John Lynch. In my opinion, one of the best safeties to ever play the game because I played safety, so I identified with him. I like to hit hard. He hit hard. But Lawrence, I mean, he's not in the GOAT category. But I mean, Lawrence Taylor is just a fucking animal. He's just a
I like that choice.
savage.
All right, Tim, give us your choice.
Well, I hate the Jets, but I love Darrelle Revis. I love a guy. He made that island. He was famous for making that island. He was, and I'm talking like more the current era. Especially, I just love watching him play. I fucking hate the Jets, but
Hate the Jets too, with a passion. I hate them as much as I hate the Eagles and Cowboys. But
Bro.
but Tim, here's my question to you. How many great years did Darrelle Revis have?
5.
Disagree. I think he had about 3, and then he
I was
went
gonna
to
say
the
that.
Patriots and the Bucks and did not play as well.
I was gonna say that too. Yeah,
He
I
had
said-
those Jet years though were
He was
fucking
amazing.
He's-
But here's the thing though, Lawrence Taylor impacted his team. He won.
So did
Super-
Revis though. Right?
No,
Well,
no, hold on,
All right, you're
hold
talking about Super Bowl. Yeah. No. I just happen to. I'm talking about like that greatness. He had that move. That
But Tim, I'm saying, but they got to the Super Bowl because of fucking Lawrence Taylor.
right. They got to the AFC Championship game.
I feel like I kind of
I know. I listen. I hate the Jets, so I can't say. I just happen to love his play. Like I love.
But he was great for those 3 years. I think.
I love defense
No,
more
that-
than
yeah,
offense on
No,
football.
I agree with both you guys, and like in the sense of Darrelle Revis being dope, but I also agree with Adam's point in like the window is too small. Like I just feel like you can't with that window being that small. Like, well, I can't say you can't. You're allowed to have your favorite
Yeah.
fucking player. Fuck me, who gives a shit?
Right.
But like,
No, I guess you.
but like I
I-
wouldn't choose Darrelle Revis because I feel like the window is too small.
It's just, I feel
'Cause,
like
like-
3 years is just too short of a.
Like
I
I'd go like Charles Woodson before I'd go like Darrelle
Yeah.
Revis.
All right.
Deion Sanders.
Like-
Yeah,
Well,
stay-
And my pick is Deion Sanders.
I don't
Well,
think.
for the same reasons that we said with Bo Jackson.
Well,
But like
me and
I-
Michael go to the same pick then. So
Okay.
And I feel like as far as like, it's really hard to like pick out a D lineman right now because I feel we're in the golden age of the fucking D lineman. Like I feel like what we're seeing now, we've never seen speed.
I disagree. I think
Uh,
speed maybe, but
I'm
you
especially
saw-
the edges, especially edge
Sure,
rushing. The
because
ed-
that's just like modern science.
It's
of
a mod-
working out and shit.
it's right. That's why like I love Gerald McCoy. I love watching Aaron Donald. Like I could say these guys, but they're still playing. So like when I think of like guys, I'm trying to think of like people almost who are done. Like even though he's put Tom Brady, he should have been done, like you said, like Mike. Like it's almost like he is finished. He's on like his second career almost.
Mhm.
So he's already had enough to be a GOAT in one full career. So, but yeah, like I mean, I didn't really think too much. Lawrence Taylor is the ultimate. Hands down. And back to the Theismann thing, real quick.
that was a great pick, LT.
My best friend has a framed signed picture of Theismann about to getting fucking sacked by LT.
That's so
and-
rough.
It's signed by.
I thought you were gonna say a
he
side
pop-
picture of like his leg dangling or some shit.
No. Right,
Like, oh, come
right.
on.
As he's fucking
I-
flying at him.
I thought Tim was gonna say my friend has bone fragments from Joe Theismann.
Oh, that would be sick.
Just hung up in his room.
No, you gotta put that shit on eBay
No, it's gotta
immediately
get-
if you have that shit.
Got to get graded first.
Right.
That image of LT popping up and being like
Yeah.
that, and, like,
Yeah.
like it's so like scary to be. Oh,
You're
my
gonna
God.
go Dr. Williamson's eBay account, like, oh, this is Joe Theismann's bone fractures. Like,
Just-
who the fuck's this guy?
all right, Mike. I guess since we got the same choice, you go first.
I already.
Oh, they said Deion Sanders.
No, I thought you were gonna elaborate on it.
Oh, no. I mean, I wasn't gonna elaborate. I mean, like it was for all the same reasons that we chose Bo Jackson, or that you guys chose Bo Jackson. Like that's how I looked at like for me, like with Bo Jackson, I had people who resonated with me more, but I agree with everything that you guys said about Bo Jackson. Whereas on the defensive side of the ball, I don't have a stronger argument for someone else other than Deion Sanders for the same reason. So that's why I was going with Deion. Now, I also have a personal favorite that you guys may not even be familiar with
Okay.
because he was a Lions player. But one of my personal favorites was Chris Spielman. He played on
I
the
know
Lions. Okay, he played on the Lions during the Barry Sanders era, and there were a lot of things that I saw Chris Spielman do that were absolutely remarkable. And one of my favorites was I don't remember the team, but whoever the Lions were playing, they were like I don't know if it was first, second, third, fourth down, whatever, but they were at the goal line, and whatever the team was, they handed it off to whoever the running back was, and the running back tried to jump over the pile into the end zone. And you're watching the game. You see the guy jump over, and it looks like, oh fuck, this guy just scored. And you see Spielman pop up into the frame and catch this motherfucker in midair, like you are not getting to this end zone, and threw this dude down. And I was like, man, you know what, man, I fucking love Chris Spielman. So that's just a little side story that why he's one of my favorite defensive players. But yeah, that's why I chose Deion.
Okay.
Like it's kind of
Alright,
part of the course.
All right, so let me give my reason why I chose.
Oh, and his dance moves. I mean, come
yeah,
on.
very much so.
Like, come on.
I picked Deion Sanders because I feel
Must
like
be the money.
one, that's a great song, and more importantly, I feel like he revolutionized that position of cornerback in terms of like
He did.
how Adam was saying how LT made it so the defense had to adjust to him.
Mhm.
Deion did that same thing in terms of receivers. Like they would not throw to that side.
That's a great point. Yeah,
Because
he
Deion
was
was
like
there.
he was that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not because he was like a powerful hitter or anything like that. It was because like it was going to be most likely be an interception. He was just so good at coverage and knowing where the ball was going to be at.
Yo, and he made defensive players popping.
Yes,
Like no defensive player was popular prior to Deion Sanders. Like nobody was saying like, "Yo, this is my favorite left tackle." Like nobody was saying that shit.
Yeah.
And then Deion Sanders made defensive players cool, and then like guys who came after him were subsequently cool.
Yeah,
like,
but
but he was like the first guy.
Nobody was talking about cornerbacks back then until they saw Deion Sanders fucking slugging it out with Andre
you're right.
Rison
Yeah.
and running back the ball for a pick six and shit. And
Doing
then
the shit.
yeah, Deion Sanders was just so cool, and it was cool because like we'll go back to what the
So
whole
cool.
topic of this whole show been is that arrogance, that confidence in his ability made us believe it. And like LT had that too, but LT's on a little bit was a coke. LT was high as hell.
Crack.
but
Yeah,
but-
he's too busy doing crack and banging underage prostitutes, man. You know, he has shit to do.
yeah,
Don't bother him.
In the
Good
park,
guy.
in the parking lot, in
Yeah.
between fucking plays.
yes, but Deion Sanders was just an amazing player because he was flashy, he was great at what he did, and he made the offense think and a little bit scared to throw it to this whatever side he was at, and that is very hard to do in football. In terms of like making a team have to adjust their whole gameplay around one player.
Right, which is
And
my
it
whole
was
point about
times-
LT.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
It was times where I'd be watching a game, and like you said, they would not throw to Deion's side of the field, and then they would do it, and then he'd fucking get the pick, and I'm like, oh my god, like this dude is so fucking good,
Do you
man.
remember,
Yeah.
remember when he retired and came back and played for the Ravens for like a year?
Yes, I do.
That was awesome.
Mm.
But my favorite Dion was the Falcons Dion.
Yes, I like the
Yes,
Falcons deal.
That
yeah, the
was-
Falcons Deion was the one. Yeah,
That was the good one.
Yeah, that was the best one.
Plus, everybody looks like an asshole in a Cowboys uniform.
That is true. I hate the Cowboys so much.
we are all in agreement on that.
They
That's
did win
what
yesterday,
all
though.
four of us agree on.
No, like
Fuck
the
even
Cowboys.
no matter how like you would be great once you just look like a dick in that uniform.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a Cowboys player that I liked.
I like Dez.
I like Jason Witten. He's like a good dude.
I was Jason Witten. I was okay with. That's the best I can say about a Cowboys player. It's
Yeah.
like, I didn't have a problem with Jason Witten. He did my fantasy teams pretty well.
Well,
I'll give Jason
he
Witten
also,
that.
like he does like charity. He's like a good dude. He was an awful commentator, the worst Monday night.
Oh my
commentator.
god, I was so glad he retired and went back to football.
Yeah,
He was terrible.
awful.
And there he goes up the middle. Yep, that's where we would be when we played. That's great. Thanks.
I think that's a perfect way to end this episode.
Yeah.
So, everybody, I'm probably gonna put up another poll. Who did you agree with on this episode? Did you agree with me? Did you agree with Tim? Did you agree with Adam? You agree with Mike. We're gonna leave it up to you guys to pick who do you think won this debate on these top athletes. Who is your GOAT? Who do you think is your GOAT in each sport? Basketball, combat sports, and football. Just hit us back and let us know what you think. As always, thank you for listening to this podcast. Tim, let them know where to find you at.
Hashtag Garbage Opinions. Garbage Opinions podcast.
You, motherfucker, you, not the podcast.
That's where you can find me. I mean, I pretty much don't have no many other places to go.
You have a Twitter, sir.
No, I know. Twitter, at DJ Tim Hines. All the other socials, same shit. Twitch every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Friday night.
I checked the last one. I was there like the whole time gaming.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
Appreciate that. That
It was
was
great.
cool. Friday night, I'm doing like a happy hour, little different kind of vibe, but a little more fun on Twitch, 6 to 8 p.m. And otherwise, just doing random podcasts.
Okay, cool. Adam, let them know where to find you at in your comedies.
At Abnutter, Twitter, Instagram, at Abnutter Comedy on Facebook. Check out my other podcast, Cult of Us. I do with my good friend Neil Wood, where it's two comics trying to gather a cult following of fans. You pieces of shit. What's today's date? December. Oh, man, I know I'm missing those in between, but December 5th. I'll be at Bristol, PA, at the Water's Edge. It's on my social media for tickets. I'll be judging a roast battle sometime soon. I don't know a date yet. And in January, I think I'll be in Eastville Comedy Club in Brooklyn sometime.
Okay. Mike, let them know where to find you at, brother.
I'm gonna be at the comedy club, putting shit down. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not funny. You can find me at What Up Though podcast. That's the flagship podcast that I've been doing for 6-7 years, something like that. You can find me there. You can find me at Michael_Aaron on Twitter. I got One Mic Podcast. That's just me, solo dolo at One Mic Pod. You can catch that one. That's on all your favorite podcast services. So as is What Up Though podcast. So that's where you can catch me, and you can catch me doing better than Adam at comedy.
Oh,
I'm
just talking shit. I'm not funny.
You can find me on Twitter at Devil_Cox. You can check out the Devil Cox Experience anywhere you get podcasts. If you like video games, you got the PlayStation Experience anywhere you get podcasts. And I think that's it for us. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.